and welcome to another Caroline Flanagan broadcast. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Caroline Flanagan. I'm a life coach. I work with lawyers who have imposter syndrome, and I help them to stop playing down, questioning their value, and start creating extraordinary results in their life and in their career. Today, I want to talk about skin in the game. And the reason this topic has come up is because I've made quite a major shift in my business this past week. I've been thinking about doing it for quite a long time, and this week I finally come around and I've taken so much action to change a few things. And the most interesting thing that I want to share with you is the fact that I've stopped working with certain of my clients. Why is that interesting, you ask me? Well, two reasons. First of all, these are clients who are in the middle of their coaching program. So they haven't even finished the program, and yet I am effectively letting them go. I guess you could say I'm kind of firing some of my clients, which is pretty outrageous, pretty bold, pretty crazy. It sounds like that, doesn't it? The second thing which makes it seem even more crazy is that I'm actually issuing refunds for those clients who I am letting go, who I'm choosing to no longer work with. Now, when I was out for dinner last Friday night with a few friends and a particular colleague of mine, and we're great kind of working buddies in the sense that she has a very successful business. Her name's Lizzie. You may have heard me interview her actually on the podcast many moons ago. If you haven't, check it out. It's an amazing episode. It's called Your Style Matters. So I'm talking to Lizzie and I'm explaining to her these dramatic changes I've made in the business. And she's like, wow, you fired some clients and like you're giving refunds. Why are you doing that? To which the answer is the title of today's episode, Skin in the Game. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. Skin in the game. It's a strange expression. You've probably heard it, but perhaps may not until now have given it too much thought. I did a little bit of research and it turns out it comes from, we think, has its origin in horse racing. So in the Southern Derby races, owners of the horse in the race were said to have skin in the game. In other words, they had the most to lose if they didn't get the outcome, the results that they wanted. I know it's an expression that's also used in the financial world. It refers to having basically an equity stake in something. In other words, you have some sort of ownership in maybe a property or in a project, in a transaction. So you're invested in it. Whichever context we put this expression, skin in the game, the idea is that you have something to lose. Yeah, you're incurring some kind of risk. It might be a monetary risk, like a risk of losing money. It could also be a time risk, like a risk of like wasting your time. There's a risk element. And the reason why you make that risk is because you do so in order to increase your likelihood of achieving your goal of getting that result. So what I've noticed with my clients over the last year, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years of coaching, that's how long it's been, is that there is a huge noticeable difference between those of my clients who book in all their sessions at the beginning of their program, they put it in their calendar, they honor that calendar, so they show up to those sessions, or if they have to postpone, that is more the exception rather than the rule. And then in between their sessions, they actually take action. They do the homework that I've set them. And even in the sessions, I see them more active. They have like a notepad or something. They're taking note of what I'm saying and with the intention of putting it into practice. There's a massive difference between those clients and the results that they get as a result of that engagement in the coaching process, and those clients who don't take any of that action and who as a result don't get the results that they set out to get. And that difference I have narrowed down to today's topic, skin in the game. So in this episode, we are going to cover what I mean by skin in the game, what that expression really stands for. I'm going to look at what happens when you have no skin in the game, and like the kind of experience you have and the kind of results that you create or don't create. I'm talking about actually what you have to do to have skin in the game, and then the results, the outcome that is going to result from when you're prepared to have skin in the game. So it's all about skin in the game today. And the message I want you to take away from today is to stop doing half-hearted goal setting, going half in, being half committed. And I want you to start having skin in the game results creation. So no more half-hearted goal setting and much more skin in the game results creation. This is the transformation I want for you today. So what do we mean then by skin in the game? Specifically, it's when you have a goal that you want to achieve, and it's about how much you are willing to invest, either in time, in money, something else valuable to you, or all of those. How much you're willing to invest in order to achieve that result. Another way of looking at it is that you're having skin in the game is how you measure the extent of your commitment to getting that result, to achieving that goal. Another way of saying it might be if you're in it to win it, right? The extent to which you're in it to win it will be reflected in what it is you put into something. Another expression I like, which sort of recalls the same ethos, is put your money where your mouth is, right? It's not just about saying you want to achieve a certain goal, you want to be partner, or you want to raise your profile, or you want to be valued and showcase your value. It's about putting something behind that to really add substance to that desire and that goal. There's a book called, I think it's called Anything You Want. It's by David Sivers, who's a very successful entrepreneur. I read the book a long time ago, and one of the things he talks about, when he talks actually about making decisions, and he says it has to either be a hell yeah or it's a no. And I love that. I love the idea of like it being like the hell yeah it's very American, like the hell yeah. If you're an American listening, we love it. I love that about you. It's like straight to the point. If it's a hell yeah, it means you're all in, you're full on enthusiastic. And if you're not full on enthusiastic, full on committed, then you shouldn't do it. So that's another way of describing it. But I think perhaps my favourite one for this, an equivalent of having skin in the game, is this concept of go big or go home. It literally says it like it is, right? Go full on in, put everything on the line, or just don't bother. Just go home. I love that expression. It's an expression I keep front of mind a lot these days, and it really is helping me show up with courage and commitment and making such a difference to the results I'm creating. But I'll talk a bit more about my results, how I'm using this in a moment. So go big or go home, go all in. I love this. You're either in or you are out. This is the meaning. Now, I want to switch to then back to my clients. So I've got a client, actually a couple of clients at the moment. They've just started working with me, and I hope they do listen to this episode and hear the message. But it's an important message for all of you, and one which I want to share. So the clients in question, they are stepping up to a new role. Let's focus on one of them. Stepping up to a new role, very excited, looking forward to being promoted. And what their objective is, their goal, the result they want to create, or my help to help them create, is to be really well prepared for the role, to start with a bang, to make a big impression, and to go in confidently, showing their value. Now, if I think about, now this is where we are with some existing clients, but if I think about clients in the past, what typically happens for me, perhaps 60% of my clients come to me through their law firm. So I work with lawyers, as I said at the beginning, and the law firm will refer them to me for coaching. And here's what tends to happen. The law firm will offer them coaching. The law firm will pay for them to be coached by me, and will say, are you interested? And their answer is yes. I want to say yes to this coaching. I'd like this free benefit from you, my employer, and I want to do the coaching program. And then here's what they do. They don't book their sessions. They frequently cancel their sessions. They don't take notes in their session. More often than not, don't see the pen or the paper come out. There's this idea that, yeah, I get what you're saying. I can hear it. I work with very, very, very bright people. Those of you who are lawyers, you're very, very smart. So there's this kind of, I'll sit back and I'll let whatever information or whatever Caroline's saying on the session, I'll let that just kind of sink in and let's see what she's bringing, right? See what she can give me in the session. But there's no taking notes, even if you get to a session. Often the sessions are cancelled or they're overlooked. You often don't book the sessions. And there's this lack of engagement during the coaching process, during the coaching engagement, right? And how does that look? It's not that you're not present or ignoring. It's that your answers are kind of, well, they're a bit meh. They're a bit, yeah. You use things like fine and, oh, well, that's okay. You shrug your shoulders, the energy's low, you're present, but you're not engaged. Sometimes you're not even present. Maybe you've got a screen next to you with some emails or you're on your phone. And guess what happens with my clients whose employer, whose law firm is paying for their coaching and who take this approach of not being engaged? Guess what happens? Nothing changes for them. Time is wasted because nothing changes. We have this whole 50 minutes together. Nothing happens differently, so it's wasted time. There's no transformation, so it's a missed opportunity. The thing is, they don't have anything to lose. Yes, they are losing their time, but they don't recognize that actually that time isn't valuable enough. They're not invested, or it's not enough of their time to be invested in getting a result. They're not all in. So when I talk about having no skin in the game, I talk about a lack of engagement, a lack of buy-in, which results in really missed opportunity, no transformation, no results. So the lesson I want you to take away from that is that when you're half-hearted like that, half-hearted action creates half-hearted results. In my initial notes, I wanted to say kind of half-assed action, but I'm trying to keep this quite clean. So half-hearted is what I'm going for. Half-hearted action creates half-hearted results. So when you're half-hearted in your approach to your goal, the result is you're going to get a half-hearted, mediocre result. That's not what I want for you. Now, the problem is, and this is something that I'm constantly trying to teach my clients, is that they often, or raise their awareness around, is that they often think that the problem or the reason why they're not getting the results that they want is down to so many other reasons that are outside of them. There are so many different versions of basically either one, it can't be done, or two, the way I'm going about it doesn't work. Have a think about that. Have a think about a goal that you might have in your mind at the moment and that you might be stuck on. And have a think about why you think you're stuck, why you feel you're not able to create that result. And I bet you it fits into one of those categories. It can't be done for various reasons, either your work environment or your work culture or somebody, your boss, how they treat you, or the opportunities that don't come your way. Or it's an internal flaw in yourself that you see, right? I don't know, it's your imposter syndrome, your belief that you're a fraud and you don't deserve to be there. In other words, it feels like the reason you can't achieve your goals is like out of your control, out of your power. Again, the second reason might be that the action you're taking or the process you're following doesn't work. So in the context of my clients, they might go into coaching just thinking, well, I don't really believe coaching works, right? I've been given this advice, or they see it as too simplistic or too obvious. You know, I get a lot of clients who, again, because you're all so bright, will be saying, oh, well, yeah, I get it. Yeah, well, that's really obvious. And you're treating simplicity as ease. Just because the process, the concepts are simple, it does not make them easy to implement, and neither does it make them ineffective. In fact, one of the things that's most effective and amazing about coaching is its simplicity and its ability, despite being so simple, to create extraordinary results for you. But if you are one of like my few clients who I've let go of recently, in your mind, it's the coaching that doesn't work, or it's the environment, the circumstances around you that are the reason you're not getting the results. Now, what's really going on is not all of those factors. It's not that that's determining how successful you are and what you're trying to achieve. Actually, it is down to you. What's really stopping you? You've got no skin in the game. You're not actually 100% committed to creating that result that you want to create. This is what was happening with these clients. They weren't invested because they hadn't actually paid any money for the coaching. There was no investment. And I'm telling you, it's one of the most common problems I see in people, not just in the context of coaching, but actually in our lives generally. Like, it's very, I guess it's like a really human quality. We want the shortcut, we want the easy route, but what that looks like is you want the return, but you're not willing to make the investment. And what I want to say to you today is that that's the reason you're not getting the results that you want. It's not about the circumstances around you. It's about your commitment and your investment in creating that result. The point is, when you have nothing to lose, you have no incentive to gain, right? It's like you're sending a message to the universe. I'd quite like this, but I don't really care. That's not what I want for you. This half-hearted approach will get half-hearted results. What we want is we want to let the universe know, we want the world to know what it is that we want to achieve, what we want to create in our lives. We go all in and create so much energy around that. I mean, you can hear me in the energy in my voice and in our commitment to achieving that goal. It is a game changer at all levels in the way that you show up and also in the way the world responds to you showing up. So here's the solution then. If you want to create extraordinary results, if you want to create proper results, have some transformation, do things differently, build a career where the kind of career you create is one that most people look at and go, how do they do that? I didn't know it was possible. If you want to start a new role with a bang, feeling confident, showcasing your value, here's what you need to do. You need to go big in terms of creating that result. You need to go big or go home. So what I want to say to you is, if you have not got skin in the game, don't play, right? If you aren't prepared to invest, don't play. If you're not going all in on achieving your goals, let them go. If you have nothing to lose, then don't show up at all. How do you feel about that? This all or nothing. I want you to stop wasting energy and time wishing for goals, wishing for results, hoping things happen. Because it's so half-hearted, it's so mediocre, it's so meh, that it's just consuming energy and focus, distracting you from other things you could be doing. But if you're serious about a goal, and I suggest you just pick one goal and go all in on that instead of having like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 that you quite wish would happen. Don't be lukewarm about lots of different goals. Go all in, be positively like on fire for one goal and just absolutely go for it. If you don't, all you're doing is, well, you'd be doing, if you're working with me, if you're getting some coaching, if you're getting any help from a sponsor, a mentor, from anyone else, you're just doing that process a disservice. Yeah, you're undermining it and you're missing out on discovering like so many ways in which you can change your life, create results in your life. You're missing out on that. You're just doing it a disservice if you're going in half-heartedly. But more importantly, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? You are missing out on seeing what you are capable of when you go all in on creating your results. So again, the message, I'm going to keep repeating it. I want you to take it away. Half-hearted goal setting produces half-baked, half-hearted results. So go all in. Why does that work? Why does having skin in the game, being invested, why does it work? Well, of course, it's because of what's at stake, what you don't want to lose. You need to have something to lose. Now, that can take various forms. It could be money. Money's a great one. We care a lot about money. We're careful, aren't we? Some things we'll spend money on very easily without thinking, which in our head we think, oh, it's worth it. Other things, we're like, wow, that's expensive. My husband's quite funny like this. He'll be like able to spend like a big chunk of money on a really nice bottle of wine. But if my kids want to buy, or I want to buy like a movie on Amazon Prime, because we already have that subscription, but you know how there's some movies you have to pay extra for. If I want to pay like $8.99 or something for a movie on Prime for us all to watch, he's like, oh no, that's outrageous. That's really expensive. You can't really pay that. So we all have our own views on money and what to pay, what we would pay for a particular service or product in return. And one of the things that really brings this up is coaching, like how much people feel would be able to, that there would be a right amount, a healthy amount to spend on coaching. And what I found almost 100% of the time is this idea of undervaluing the coaching process and what it can do for you, and therefore thinking it should be cheaper than it is. And what I want to say to you is that the more you are willing to invest in your coaching program, your coaching process, the coach that you work for, the more, because you are invested, the more you are going to get out. Obviously, you want to choose a good program, and that's one that's a quality program. But the more you can put into that and risk, right? Risk losing, risk being a waste of money if you don't get results. The more invested you are, the more committed you are, the more likely you are to get those extraordinary results. Time is another thing that you can value, right? So if you are willing to, I don't know, what if you had to take a day off work to do a whole day's coaching program? That's a serious amount of time in your already busy day. What an investment that would have to be. But if you invested that kind of value, that kind of the equivalent of money in time, like how much would you show up? Like knowing what you're taking out of your day, what you're saying no to in order to say yes to the result that you want to create. So time is another way of basically creating a situation where you've got something to lose. You've got something to lose, and that's what motivates you to take action and get that result. Face, I've written here in my notes. It's another thing that you might not want to lose. I love that idea that you can also share a goal with lots of people and be really not wanting to lose face by not achieving that goal. Again, all of these things are examples of having skin in the game, and the reason why they work is because of how much you have to lose, and having something to lose, it kind of motivates you to go all in when it comes to achieving the result. So let's go back to you. Let's talk about you now and where you are now. I want you to think of a current goal that you have. It can be in your career. It could actually be in your life. Maybe you'd like to be getting fitter, or have a healthier diet, improve your self-care. Or maybe it's something directly linked to your work, something to do with career progression, for example. I want you, in relation to that one goal, to ask yourself honestly, am I all in on creating this result? Or am I being half-hearted? In other words, do you have skin in the game? That goal you want to achieve, do you have skin in the game? Here's how you know. The key indicators, right, are the things you care most about. Are you willing to commit a certain amount of time? Are you willing to put it in the calendar and commit to what's in your calendar? And how much time are you willing to commit to? Are you willing to invest money in it to help you achieve it? And how much money are you willing to invest? I love this one, like, how uncomfortable are you prepared to be? And I think the more uncomfortable you are about the investment, the bigger the investment. So it's not, when it comes to money, for example, about it being thousands of pounds necessarily. If for you, £50 is an awful lot of money based on what your income is and what you spend on other things in your life. But if, as most of my lawyer colleagues are, lawyer colleagues, lawyer friends and clients, that's the word I'm looking for, as most of my lawyer clients are, you earn big chunks of money. And of course, you have your obligations and you have your the things you have to spend that money on and the lifestyle elements. But spending money on investing to create a result, like the more uncomfortable, the higher that number is, the more discomfort it's going to create in you. And that's going to translate into you being committed to getting value for money, getting that result. I hope that's making sense. Another way of knowing if you've got skin in the game is by asking yourself, what am I prepared to say no to in order to get this result? And that could be anything. It could be other commitments. It could be other things that you could buy, for example. Yeah. So think about it. How much time am I willing to commit? How much money am I prepared to invest? How uncomfortable am I prepared to be? And yeah, another one. What am I prepared to say no to in order to get this result? And the answers to those questions are what are going to tell you how much skin you have in the game. And the key point here as well is that how much skin you have in the game will tell you and indicate how successful you are likely to be in creating the result that you want. So how do you do that then? How do we go from where you might be right now, which is this half-hearted approach to your goal, to having skin in the game and creating skin in the game results? I love that. The first thing I want to recommend you do is to really make a time commitment to your goal. How many hours are you able to invest and commit to creating this goal? Put the time in your calendar. If you are going to coach with me or coach with anyone else, be on a program, put the coaching sessions in your calendar. Okay, they've got to be booked in advance. You are not going to wake up one day and suddenly have loads of time in which, oh, I've got time now to think about my coaching or think about my goal. It's got to be in your calendar. And when you put it in your calendar, you have to make it a priority. Yeah, so you have to make it be in ink in your calendar, not in pencil so you can rub it out and move it around depending on what comes up. You have it there and you commit to it. You simply are not going to have more time next week, next month, or next year. That's not how work and time and life works. You know that. You'll just be putting it off indefinitely. And that putting it off to a later date shows a lack of commitment, a lack of skin in the game. So put it in your calendar, make it a priority, and honor that commitment. The second way I want you to consciously, with intention, have skin in the game of the result that you are trying to make is to invest an uncomfortable amount of money in it. If you want to work with me, I will be asking you to invest an amount of money, which I hope you will find uncomfortable. It's part of the point is that you, at that very moment of committing to the goal, you are already taking the first step to making that goal a reality by putting so much on the line. And I think that's a beautiful thing. It's actually my gift to you to insist that you show up financially with your time, with this investment. By giving that gift to you, by making it a condition of us working together, I am making you commit to the goal. I'm making you say to yourself, actually, how much do I want this goal? Recognize that it's important to you. And if it's not important to you, then actually decide, nah, actually, I'm going to let this goal go. But if it is important to you, that requirement that you invest up front, your time, your money, is the first step to creating the result and doing that work. And you're going to get better and better at those commitments, those uncomfortable steps and actions that I will be asking you to do on the program. You will already be starting to do that, already be on your way, which is amazing. The third thing I want you to do, I should just say, by the way, I've written in my notes in capitals, this is not investment advice. I'm pretty confident that those of you who are my lawyer clients listening wouldn't be thinking this is like advice to just go and blow a whole load of cash on anything without thinking about it and without evaluating the quality of the program or anything like that. Do not take this as like a license to just go and spend and then go, oh, where's my return on investment? I'm just talking about you having skin in the game, being committed to achieving your goal, and how if you work with me, one of the ways that you do that, and I'll talk about this in a minute, is by putting up like money up front, time up front to show your commitment. Because I know from experience, I know from my own experience, I know from the hundreds of coachees I have coached over the years, that is what an important foundation for getting results. And that's what I want for you to create results. It's one of the things that I teach you. So the third one was, yes, how about if you want to have skin in the game, right? Like put your face or your pride on the line. So tell others the goal you are trying to achieve and that you're going to achieve it. Yeah, that's a kind of skin in the game, isn't it? It's a bit uncomfortable. If I say it out loud, I'm committing to it. I have to follow through. Great way of putting skin in the game. Another one is, well, you can consider, there's so many other ways. Consider what else you could introduce to raise the stakes. That's what we're doing here. We're raising the stakes on your goal. I know Tim Ferriss, who has the Tim Ferriss podcast, well-known sort of entrepreneur and author of the 4-Hour Work Week, amongst others. He had this whole thing of where he would bet with a friend or a colleague, and he'd say, right, I'm going to commit to, I don't know, let's say it was sort of running 10 miles a day for a period of 2 weeks or something like that. And if I don't do it, then I will have to pay £1,000 to a charity of my choice, right? So it's like making that deal, having someone hold you accountable and having there be high stakes, there being a risk factor, and using that to motivate you to take action. So I quite liked that one. I have another example here, which is, oh yes, when you're, you know, those, you usually see it on the TV, right, in those poker games, and somebody's kind of there and they throw in their car keys and like of the car that they absolutely love. And like, that's high stakes, isn't it? They're playing for something that's really important to them and they put it all on the line. Now, I am not an advocate of gambling. I do not think you should go around playing poker and putting like your car keys or your house keys or any of that or loads of cash in the middle. That's a game of chance. What I'm talking about is betting on yourself, right? Betting on results that you are able to control and you are able to create, and going all in on those results. Very different. I hope you see that. Very different to betting on chance and your luck in a poker game. Just to clarify the obvious, but very important to say that. So message here then, to have skin in the game, you have to raise the stakes. If you can afford to lose, yeah, or you're indifferent, then it's not worth playing. You're not going to get the result that you came out to get. So what is it that happens then when you have these high stakes, when you have something to lose? So many things. I talked about how if you haven't got skin in the game, you can focus on those circumstances that are outside of you and feel that the reason you're not getting the results you want is down to something else, down to someone else, or down to a deficiency or insufficiency in you. When you've got skin in the game, what it does is it puts you into a commitment with creating the result. I think a lot about goal setting and how sort of slightly detached it is from us. Like, I'm going to set a goal, and it's almost as if you're inviting like everybody and anyone to kind of like, can you please come along and help this goal happen? And it's as if you only have a small part to play in it, and you might even be a victim in those circumstances where the goal doesn't quite happen. I talk about creating results because I want you to take 100% responsibility for bringing out that result. And what I love about having skin in the game is it's your statement of that. If I'm going to put loads of money on the line or loads of my time on the line in order to create a result, what I'm saying is I believe I can do this. It's within my control. And so I'm much more committed to the result. I love that. When you've got skin in the game, you're more resilient. Right? So you may have setbacks, you may have failures, but they won't stop you. There's too much at stake. You can't indulge in feeling sorry for yourself. You can't indulge in drama or how something didn't go right for you. There are high stakes. You need to get back to work. You need to look at the feedback you've got, look at any failures, and then get up the next day and get going again. Adapt, right? Learn the lesson, go out there and try again. You're resourceful. I love the idea of being resourceful. I just think it's the key to, and it is, isn't it? The key to creating the results you want, the key to every success. It's like suddenly, high stakes, right? Heavily invested. I need to work this out. That's what I call resourcefulness. It's this belief that I can figure this out. Right, what can I do? What can I create? Who could I ask? How could I do this differently? This is all resourcefulness. And this is what you're going to bring when the stakes are high, when you've got something to lose. You're creative, you're persistent, you're courageous, you're motivated, right? You get to work. All of that. Not because the circumstances have changed, anything around you has changed, anyone's done anything differently, but because you are invested in creating a result. And suddenly you bring all of that to the action you take. I mean, think about that. When you show up like this, when you show up with all of those qualities, all of that value that is you, that you hold, imagine how different the experience is going to be, how different the result is that you're going to create. It's as if the result, the objective, the goal, it's already done. I feel when you put that money down, when you put that time down, and you put everything on the line like that, it's already done. All you're doing is catching up by doing the process in order to sort of catch up with that reality. I feel like it brings the future success from the future into your present. Like it makes it inevitable. And all you have to do is stay committed through the process until those two realities align. I hope that makes sense. It was really true for me. So when you have skin in the game, you go all in. And when you go all in like this, you create extraordinary results. And those results are extraordinary because not everybody, most people aren't out there creating results like the results that you can create, that I can help you create. Most people aren't doing the work that will lead them to something different out of the ordinary. And the other reason why they're extraordinary results is because if you continue to go through your daily life and to approach your career in a half-hearted way, in a way and from the position of semi-powerlessness because so much depends on what's going on around you, then that's all going to stay very ordinary. But you are extraordinary, and what you can create is extraordinary, and this is how you do it. So what do you get then? There's so much more to this than, and this is what I love about coaching, it's like you have your objective or your goal, the result you want to create. You go all in, you have skin in the game, you go all in on creating it. You work with a coach, with me, to create that result. You get so much more when that result is created. You go from thinking that creating results depends on other people, on circumstances outside of you, and you start to understand and prove to yourself that you are the one that creates results, that you are capable, powerful enough to create those results. You don't have to wait for the circumstances to change, the conditions to be perfect. Your confidence grows, like you start to suddenly trust yourself. And it's because you've seen how when you're fully invested, the results you can produce, you start to trust that you can produce those results and more results going forward. The more times you do this, the more you prove to yourself what's true, what you're capable of. Do you know what? You have a lot more fun. It's so much more enjoyable because of the connection between what you put in and then what you get out. It creates such a positive sense of enjoyment and fulfillment. And that's what this is like, another additional advantage beyond getting the result that you first set out to achieve. It's amazing. And this one I love. I've written here, the world expands as you start to imagine the possibilities. Imagine if all it requires is for you to make that commitment, have skin in the game, go all in, go big and achieve your result. And you start seeing that happen over and over and again in your life. You start creating that. Suddenly your whole world, and this is what's happened to me, it's expanded. There's an excitement around that. It starts becoming not, oh, stops being, oh, what goal do I need to achieve? And starts becoming like, oh my God, I'm just curious. I just want to find out what's possible. Like, that is the most exciting driver for achieving results and setting goals ever. I talk about this in my talks, talk about being more daring and more bold. It's exciting to go out and see what's possible. And that comes from knowing you can create results. And creating results comes from having skin in the game. It all makes so much sense. Yeah, so this is where I am now. As I've said, I'm creating extraordinary results. I'm already creating them. I'm excited to be creating them. And I love the fact that every time I do, I'm internalizing that experience and the results of that. I feel so much more in control. So again, my message to you, forget half-hearted goal setting. Get your skin in the game and go for those skin in the game results. That's what I want for you. I love it. And it's okay if you don't want that. I think if you're feeling, oh, I don't really know about this goal, actually that's an important awareness piece for you to actually say, am I willing to invest? Am I willing to put skin in the game behind this goal? And if I'm not, to just let it go. Like I said, create space. It's taking up a lot of energy just wishing that things would be different, right? Let the goal go, create space in your life for something else, yeah? Written here, if you don't have skin in the game, don't play, walk away, that's okay. It's okay to say, I'm gonna let go of that goal because I don't really want to invest in it. I don't really want it. So to close, I want to just kind of bring it full circle and back to the clients that I have let go this year, the changes I've made in my business. So from the 1st of July, 2021, my corporate clients, by which I mean if you're a lawyer, you work for a law firm who generously agrees to pay for your coaching, your work with an executive coach or a career coach or whatever name it goes by. It's all coaching, by the way. I'm going to do a podcast on that, the different names for different types of coaching. It's all the same process. It's just a question of what you want to achieve. But if you are a lawyer and your firm typically pays for your coaching, from the 1st of July, in working with me, I will be requiring that you pay 50% of the coaching fee out of your own pocket in order to be accepted onto my Imposter program. I know, it's scandalous, it's unusual, it's asking a lot of you, and that's on purpose. If you think about what I've been saying this whole session, there's a fantastic reason for this. It was a difficult decision for me at first. I mean, I told you to say no to clients, to give refunds. I mean, it's crazy. I realize I'm also risking like losing clients, not being referred clients anymore. It might even mean, I don't think it will, but potentially could mean not working with a law firm again. If the law firm feels that that's like, they don't like those terms and they want to just pay 100% of the coaching fee, it would mean I wouldn't work with that law firm again. But every time I questioned whether this was the right move or not, I always came back to the same conclusion. This isn't about me. This is about you and how I can help you to create those extraordinary results. It's not about me. It's about what's best for you. Yes, getting you to invest your hard-earned cash is best for you in helping you to create results. It starts long before our first coaching session together with getting you to just show up to coaching, with getting you to commit to the process, commit to your goal. I want you to go big. I want you to commit and go all in on creating those results. So today is kind of an example of how I'm showing up for you as your coach before you even have to work with me, without you even having to work with me. And this is how I'm going to continue to show up for my clients going forward. And I hope one day you will be one of them. I'm not going to let you sit on the fence about achieving your goals. I'm not going to let you waste your time chasing goals you don't care about. Instead, I'm going to demand that you have skin in the game because the commitment this requires is the first step to creating those results that you want. Now, I want you to think back to that one goal I asked you to think about at the beginning of this record this broadcast, this session. The one that's foremost in your mind, the one you're being half-hearted about. And from this moment on, I want you to take the most important next step you could take in order to succeed. Be all in. Go big. Put skin in the game. Get your wallet out. Get your calendar out. Invest. Make sure the stakes are high. Make sure you've got something to lose. And then let's have a chat. Bye for now. If you're a lawyer and you think you suffer, or you do suffer from imposter syndrome, you have to check out my imposter coaching program for lawyers, where we reveal the unique value that lies hidden behind your imposter syndrome and where you discover how to use that value to create extraordinary results in your life and career. If you're a lawyer and you think, if you're a lawyer and you suffer from imposter syndrome, you have to check out my imposter coaching program for lawyers, where we work together to reveal the unique value that lies hidden behind your imposter syndrome, and where I'll teach you how to use that value to create extraordinary results in your life and in your career. To find out more about the Imposter Program and if the Imposter Program for lawyers is for you, go to carolineflanagan.com/contact and complete the form to book a consultation with me, where I'd be excited and delighted to talk about how coaching with me could be utterly transformational for you. I'm Caroline Flanagan. Thank you very much. Bye for now. Okay, let's see if that worked.